Alright, welcome back to the discussion on dictionaries, and in this video we're looking at some dictionary methods, just like we have been for lists and strings. So there's a few methods. There's fewer methods for dictionaries than there are for the other ones, but they're all really important for later on when you actually incorporate logic into your code, which is the next section. Anyway, let's get started. So dictionaries, we had already seen how to access their data with strings, but you can access all of it at once using three different methods called keys. There's values and there's items. So let's take a look at this dict2 that we made. Dict2. Right, so that's what it looks like. If I want a list of all of its keys, so the keys here are the string 1, the string 2, and the string 3. So dict2.keys returns me a dict keys object. This is not exactly a list, but it behaves like a list, and in this list is the keys 1, 2, and 3. It does not have 4 because 4 is not a key of dict2. It is a key of the dictionary which is stored under the value which corresponds to the third key. That's why we get 1, 2, and 3. If I want the values as part of a collection, a list, then I can do dict2 dot values. This will return me just the values. So the first value is the integer 1, the second value is the string Sabir, and the third value is this dictionary. And if I want both of them paired up together, so I can have dict2 dot items. This will return them as pairs. So I get this data type with brackets around instead of square brackets, called a tuple, and it behaves just like a list. So now I get my items as form of key value pairs, and they're paired in this tuple, and then these tuples make up the dict items list. So I get key 1 with value 1 in one tuple, then key 2 with value Sabir in the next tuple, and with key 3 and the inner dictionary as a value in the next tuple, and that's where this ends. So yeah, that's those are three methods for obtaining the entire collection of a dictionary at once, and then later on we can manipulate these in loops, and we'll be looking at how to loop your code in the next section as well. So these were three methods to obtain the data. Next up is methods to add data and manipulate data. So let's say that I'm going to make a new dictionary. So I'm going to make a dict3 is equal to, and it's going to have name should be John, job should be accountant, and firm could be Nixer. Yeah, alright. Now let's say now that I have made this dictionary for a person named John who is an accountant at the firm Nixer. So let's say that I want to obtain his name, dict3, and oh my bad, let's say dict3, and I want his name. So I get John, but let's say I want his age, dict3 age. As you know, this will throw a key error because the age key does not exist in the dictionary. But let's say that you have this in a giant program and you can't go around and you can't risk throwing this error which crashes your entire program. So there is another way to access keys which do not exist without throwing an error. So let's say dict3, and I'm going to obtain the age with the method get. So what it's going to do is that it's going to get age, and if it doesn't find age, it's going to return a default value as which will be the second argument that we pass in. So we're looking for an age, and the default value I'm going to pass in is not to throw this error, but to throw my own error, which won't crash the program. It'll just notify me that age was not found. Alright, so I'm going to try to get age, but since it didn't find age, it returned not found. But let's say dict3 had an age, so age, I can add this as 53. And now if I try to run dict3 dot get age, and if you don't find age, say not found, it'll return 53, because now it was able to find age, to find the key age and return its value, which is 53. So that's how you deal with the key error without crashing your entire program. Another useful method is called set default. What this does is that it looks for a key. It is very similar to get, but it looks for a key, and if the key does not exist, it creates that key and passes it a default value which you assign to the second argument. So dict3 dot set default. Okay, so I'm going to look for favorite food, but we know that this does not exist inside dict3. So what set default is going to do is that it's going to look for it, see that it does not exist, and then it's going to create this key for us, and it's going to assign the value chocolate to it. Alright, and it returns chocolate as well, because this is basically it telling us that it has assigned chocolate to favorite food. So now if you look at dict3, it has a new key, favorite food, with the value chocolate. So if I try to run this code again, now this key already exists, so it won't assign chocolate to it. It'll return the value it already has. So if I pass in, for example, a different value to replace, to basically, if I pretend that favorite food does not exist and I pass in pizza, but over here dict3 does exist, it's going to return chocolate, because it didn't have to create this key anymore. It was already there and it returned its value. If it wasn't there, it would have made this key and assigned it pizza, as it did over here when the key did not exist. So yeah, that's been dictionary methods. There aren't that many for dictionaries, because most of the power of dictionaries come from being able to nest them and being able to access them with keys, with key value pairs. But these are some useful methods for when you want your program to run without errors and be user friendly. Alright, we'll see you in the next video.